You are not going to believe what happened when I opened the box when I got back. There's no wick again! No way to light this thing.
Did you like it?
Seriously, look. It comes out just like that, and literally no wick.
How can this happen when we only made 100 candles?
$64. Not for a designer handbag, not for a 5-star dinner, not even for a limited edition fragrance, for a candle.
So actually what this means is that these products, and by the way, this candle, $64 from the Was Never website, $77.94 because we ordered it from eBay, is a dud. It's a cheap mess that you cannot light.
Now here's the twist. According to multiple buyers, this luxury candle arrived with one tiny microscopic issue. It doesn't have a wick.
$64 for your wickless candle.
That's crazy.
$64 for your wickless candle.
Yes, a candle that cannot be lit. You almost have to admire the confidence. Charging premium, high-end, diptyque level prices for what some customers claim is essentially a decorative block of wax.
$64 for a candle is unacceptable if it does not come with a wick.
And the real kicker, the label reportedly says, trim wick to 1/4 inch.
And it says on the bottom, always trim wick to 1/4. So this is not intentional. I thought this was like a thing she does.
No, this is insane.
This isn't a minor scuff on the packaging. This isn't the scent was a little lighter than expected. This is the one job a candle has: glow, flicker, exist in flame form. And somehow that part allegedly didn't make it into the final product.
So it's a piece of tat. No wonder she has hundreds and thousands of these things on the shelf.
So the question isn't just how did this happen? The real question is, how does a brand positioned as aspirational, curated, and carefully crafted let something so basic slip through? Because at $64, you're not just buying wax. You're buying trust, you're buying prestige, you're buying the promise that someone checked twice. And when that promise melts faster than the product itself, people start asking uncomfortable questions.
She says she's all about this attention to detail. Clearly she's not, okay? Meghan Markle, she needs to roll up her sleeves, go to that factory, because this is unacceptable.
But this is only where the fire begins. And what happened next? That's where things get even more explosive. So here's where the situation shifts from awkward to alarming. It wasn't just one customer posting a confused photo. It wasn't a single "maybe mine was defective" comment buried in a review thread. Multiple buyers began sharing nearly identical complaints. Same product, same price, same missing piece. Some opened the box and immediately noticed a small hole in the center of the wax, like something was supposed to be there but wasn't. Others reported receiving a perfectly smooth surface. No wick stub, no buried thread, just a solid, untouched slab.
I was gifted this gorgeous, as ever, candle. Let me show it to you, okay? It's water lotus, sandalwood, and California poppy. How much do you think these retail for?
I think that they're between 45 and 60. I can't remember. I think they're $60.
Did you like it?
There's no wick. Is that normal?
Are you serious?
Is that the thing?
There's
no wick.
I've had 2 people tell me that there was no wick when they ordered a candle.
There's literally no wick.
That's when the screenshots started circulating, because once one person speaks up, others feel safer doing the same. And suddenly, what could have been dismissed as a random manufacturing glitch began to look like a pattern, a recurring quality control lapse.
Are you kidding?
I have an empty wick list. How do I light it? I literally just noticed that. I just pulled it out. There is a hole in my Meghan Markle candle.
Now think about that for a sec. Candles aren't complex technology. They don't require microchips or moving parts. It's wax, a container, a wick. That's the blueprint. So when the simplest component is allegedly missing, consumers start questioning the process behind the scenes. Was there a rush to launch? Was oversight skipped? Or was this just an unfortunate production batch gone wrong? No one expects perfection, but they do expect functionality, especially at a luxury price point. And when identical issues surface across multiple orders, it stops feeling like bad luck. It starts feeling systemic. And that's when customers moved from confused to demanding answers.
Let's say you're not an influencer like me. Let's say you don't have a platform, you don't have a podcast. You buy a product. Let's say you're actually one of Meghan Markle's, handful of fans. You buy a product and it comes without a wick. So obviously this is a problem in manufacturing.
Now let's talk about the number that really ignited this backlash. $64. That price doesn't sit in the casual toss it in your cart category. It plants itself firmly in luxury territory. When a brand sets a price like that, it sends a message. This isn't just a candle, it's an experience, it's ambiance. It's status wrapped in glass. At that level, buyers automatically compare. Diptyque, Joe Malone, other heritage names that have built reputations on consistency. When you spend that kind of money, you expect flawless presentation, refined fragrance throw, and performance that matches the promise. You expect intention behind every detail.
I'm opening this cylinder now. If you're watching, what a ta-da!
Luxury pricing creates a psychological contract. Customers believe the higher cost reflects superior craftsmanship and stricter oversight. So when something feels off, the disappointment multiplies. It's not about the wax alone. It's about whether the brand delivered what the price implied. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Premium cost raises premium scrutiny. People will inspect more closely. They'll photograph, they'll review, they'll compare side by side with competitors. If this candle had been $12, the reaction might have been irritation. At $64, it becomes a debate about value, about perception, about whether the brand's image aligns with its output. Because luxury isn't just a number, it's a promise. And once that promise feels shaky, customers don't just whisper, they question everything.
I ordered Meghan Markle's candle. There's nothing to light.
What?
I literally want a refund. Meghan Markle, send me a freaking refund. So I paid, how much did I pay for this? $64. I paid $64 for a candle you can't light.
And then came the part that truly escalated things, the response, or rather, the lack of one. Several buyers claim they reached out expecting a simple solution, a replacement, a refund, at minimum, a real explanation. Instead, some say they received automated replies, generic templates, polite but distant. Others allege their follow-ups went unanswered altogether.
And so Alan emailed eBay communication and he wrote, "Hello, just received the candle today. Were you aware that the candle itself has no wick?" And eBay replied saying, "Hello, my apologies. When I checked it prior to shipping, I saw a wick. You can return the item and as soon as I receive the return, I will issue a refund." Well, there wasn't a wick. There was no goddamn wick. We're not making this up. You can't remove a wick.
Now pause there. When a product sparks controversy, customer service becomes the pressure valve. It's the moment a brand can calm frustration or completely amplify it, because most people are reasonable. If something arrives flawed, they just want it fixed, quietly, quickly, respectfully. But when communication feels robotic or delayed, frustration hardens. What could have stayed a private inconvenience turns into public screenshots. Comment threads grow longer, tone shifts from confused to irritated. There are also reports that the website enforces a strict no refund policy. If true, that policy alone changes the stakes.
I actually tried to get a refund, but when you go to Meghan Markle's website for her brand As Ever, it says they don't do refunds for the type of products that they sell. So I really got Markled, you guys, and we took a screenshot, okay? If you go to the website to even click and report a damaged product, the link is broken. I can't even report this as a damaged product.
How can this happen when we only made 100 candles?
Consumers generally understand that luxury goods sometimes carry firm return rules. However, defective merchandise enters different territory. If an item doesn't perform as advertised, expectations change instantly. And here's the key issue: silence, whether intentional or not, often reads as indifference. Even if logistics are being handled behind the scenes, perception moves faster than clarification, because in the age of social media, customer service isn't private anymore. It's part of the brand story. And once people start telling that story themselves, regaining control becomes much harder. Just when you thought the controversy couldn't get more layered, the scent itself entered the conversation. The candle is marketed as California Poppy. Sounds poetic, sun-drenched, effortlessly West Coast. The kind of fragrance that feels like golden hills and late afternoon light. There's just one small complication.
If I'm going to succeed in America, I need a lifestyle brand of creams and supplements. Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop, Kourtney Kardashian has Poosh, and Jamie Lee Curtis has Poogert. Now I've got mine, Meg Goo, celebrating the sexy earth goddess in all of us.
California poppies are widely known for having little to no noticeable scent. They're stunning visually, vibrant orange petals, iconic state flower status, but fragrant, not particularly. So critics began asking a simple question. If the flower itself carries almost no aroma, what exactly is the candle supposed to smell like? Is it an inspired blend, a symbolic name, or an aesthetic choice prioritizing vibe over botanical accuracy? Now, to be fair, many candles use imaginative interpretations. Fragrance branding often leans into mood rather than literal replication. Ocean Breeze doesn't come bottled from the sea, but when a product already faces scrutiny, every detail gets dissected more intensely. Buyers reportedly describe the scent as faint, subtle, hard to detect unless standing directly over it, and that feeds the larger narrative forming online: style over substance, image over impact. Again, no accusations, just observations circulating among customers who expected more projection from a luxury tier product. Because when presentation dazzles but performance feels underwhelming, the gap becomes noticeable. And once people start questioning authenticity in one area, they begin examining everything else with sharper eyes.
I have no sympathy. Yes, she should give up. She should give up because she sold the world a pup. None of us buy in to what she is selling. And also, she's just really goddamn terrible at it.
But this situation didn't unfold in isolation. It landed in a moment where public perception was already complicated. Reports have circulated that a major streaming partnership tied to Meghan's media ventures struggled with performance expectations. Some outlets even suggested projects were quietly scaled back after underwhelming numbers. Whether fully accurate or partially speculative, those headlines shaped a narrative long before this candle controversy surfaced. Then another story began making the rounds. A former employee allegedly claimed that leftover as-ever products were handed out casually, described as being passed along in what was framed as a trash bag of surplus merchandise. Now context matters. We don't know the full logistics behind that situation, but optics travel fast because branding is fragile. Luxury thrives on careful presentation, precision, curation. When imagery conflicts with that aura, even subtly, it creates friction. If a corporate partner appears to distance itself, even quietly, people notice. If former staff speak critically, audiences connect dots. Fair or unfair, perception builds momentum. And that's the key here. This candle issue didn't ignite in a vacuum. It attached itself to pre-existing doubts about consistency, delivery, and follow-through.
Donna,
There's no wig.
This is why, like, everything's crap, because nobody is doing their due diligence.
So instead of being viewed as a simple manufacturing hiccup, it became part of a broader conversation about execution. Right or wrong, timing amplifies everything. And when scrutiny is already high, even a small spark can look like a signal fire. Now here's where the conversation shifts from online chatter to potential real-world consequences. When customers publicly claim a product doesn't match its description, that moves beyond disappointment. It edges into consumer protection territory. If complaints continue stacking up, regulatory attention becomes a possibility. Agencies like the FTC exist specifically to evaluate whether marketing aligns with what buyers actually receive. Again, this isn't a prediction, it's a pattern we've seen with other brands. When enough consumers voice similar concerns, oversight bodies sometimes take a closer look, especially if pricing and product claims don't appear aligned. Then there's the legal angle. If multiple buyers believe they experienced the same defect, class action discussions can start circulating. Even if such cases never materialize, the mere mention of legal risk can damage credibility. Investors notice. Retail partners hesitate. Future collaborators grow cautious. Reputation also plays a measurable role. Better Business Bureau ratings, Trustpilot reviews, social proof influences purchasing decisions more than ever. A dip in public trust can quietly erode long-term growth.
We're also sick of your desperate bids to make money, including this latest email pleading for everyone to continue to buy Was Never products thanks to a 20% discount. This is not a life of service, Meghan. This is not changing the world. You're never gonna fly in this industry, so maybe it is about time that you wake up.
And here's another layer. Expanding into stricter markets like the UK or EU introduces tighter compliance standards. Product labeling, manufacturing accuracy, refund policies all face sharper regulatory frameworks abroad. So suddenly, this isn't just about wax in a glass jar. It's about operational discipline, oversight, because once questions about compliance surface, rebuilding confidence takes far more effort than preventing the issue in the first place. And then came the symbolism. Because the internet doesn't just critique products, it creates metaphors. Some critics began drawing comparisons, suggesting the Wickless candle felt like an unintended reflection of larger branding struggles. A luxury image that promises spark, yet struggles to ignite momentum. Now that's not an endorsement of the comparison. It's an observation of how online narratives form. In branding, symbolism carries weight. Every product becomes an extension of identity. When something functions flawlessly, it reinforces confidence. When it falters, even slightly, it can be reframed as representative of something bigger. Fair? Not always. Powerful? Absolutely. That's the tricky part about operating in the public eye. A small manufacturing flaw for a private company might stay contained within customer service emails, but for a globally recognized figure, every misstep becomes commentary. Every defect becomes a headline. And here's where it gets interesting. The candle itself may or may not be a widespread issue. We don't have internal production data, but perception doesn't wait for spreadsheets. It moves at the speed of screenshots and tweets.
But the thing is, this guy is cucked now because he's not making any
Yes,
money.
yes.
And so he has to do. She's saying, look, this is Netflix, baby. You're out of it. This is our money maker. This is paying for security. This is what's going to pay the mortgage. So you got to go along with it.
Once a narrative sticks, people interpret future events through that lens. Success gets questioned, silence gets analyzed, minor errors get amplified, because public image isn't built solely on intention, it's shaped by interpretation. And in this case, a simple missing wick transformed into a broader conversation about credibility, momentum, and trust. So here's where I step in with a little perspective. Business launches are messy. Even major brands stumble during early rollouts. Manufacturing hiccups happen, suppliers miss details, quality checks fail. None of that automatically signals collapse. It signals growings. At the same time, context matters. When customers invest $64 of their hard-earned money, expectations rise naturally. Not because they're demanding, but because premium pricing implies premium accountability. If something goes wrong, transparency should follow quick. Clear communication fixes more than perfection ever could. Personally, I don't believe every viral complaint tells the full story. Online backlash can snowball fast. One photo becomes 10 become headlines, and suddenly the narrative feels bigger than the data behind it. That's the reality of modern consumer culture.
Everything Meghan tries to do and she tries to ignite, it flops. Okay, everything she touches turns to crap. She goes to the Dodgers game, look what happened. So nonetheless, everything Meghan Markle does gets markled. I feel like I just got markled.
So here's what I'm genuinely considering. I might order one myself, not to attack, not to defend, just to test, to see firsthand whether these claims reflect a widespread issue or a limited batch. Because sometimes the only way to cut through noise is direct experience. And now I want to hear from you. Would you spend $64 on this candle after hearing these reports? Or would you wait for clarity? And should I buy one and give you a completely honest review? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation isn't just about a product, it's about trust. And when you zoom out, this entire episode starts to feel bigger than glass jars and scented wax. Luxury brands don't just sell products, they sell belief. Belief in taste, belief in refinement, belief in the idea that every detail has been considered before it reaches your doorstep. When that illusion cracks, even slightly, customers don't just question the item, they question the ecosystem behind it. A single flawed shipment can be corrected, a delayed email can be explained, but a pattern of doubt, that lingers. Because modern consumers are hyper-aware, they compare, they archive receipts, they analyze inconsistencies. And once skepticism enters the chat, it rarely leaves quiet. There's also a broader lesson unfolding here about celebrity-driven brands. Fame creates instant visibility. Visibility creates instant scrutiny. You skip the slow trust-building phase most startups rely on. But in exchange, every imperfection becomes magnified under stadium lights. None of this means the brand can't stabilize. Many companies recover from rocky launches. Some even emerge stronger after addressing criticism head-on. The deciding factor is response, ownership, adjustment, improvement. Because in business, perception compounds just like profit. Right now, this candle sits at the center of a conversation about standards. Not sabotage, not scandal, standards. And whether that narrative cools down or burns hotter depends entirely on what happens next. So what started as a single missing wick turned into something much bigger. A debate about quality, a debate about value, a debate about credibility. Because in the luxury world, perception is everything. One small flaw can echo louder than a dozen flawless launches. And whether this turns out to be a limited production mistake or something deeper, the real test isn't the candle, it's the response. Brands aren't judged by perfection, they're judged by accountability, by how fast they correct, by how clearly they communicate. That's what separates a temporary stumble from long-term damage. And if you think this candle controversy is intense, wait until you see what we uncovered in my last video. We broke down explosive claims from an investigative author who revealed a supposed hidden clause tied to a high-profile royal marriage, a clause that allegedly protected one side in ways the other may not have fully understood. The implications? Let's just say it changes how you view everything. If you haven't watched that breakdown yet, you need to. It connects dots you didn't even realize were there. This is Star Spotlight, where we cut through the noise and expose the story behind the headlines. Because fame shines bright, but truth, that's what really burns. I'll see you in the next one.